50, 45, there goes Davis.
Oh my God!
Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Oh, would you look at who we got today? Welcome in, everyone, to a brand new edition of the Dream Wager, episode 605. Today is Sunday, December 21st, 2021. Joey fucking Bag of Donuts. How you doing, kid?
Keep it moving. Hey, this ain't our first rodeo.
No.
Look back at a couple TDW episodes at the beginning and somewhere in the middle as well.
Bro, I was on shuffle. I was listening to like podcasts and I was on shuffle. Episode 37 came up. It was me, you, Ant, and Elvis, and I go, holy shit.
Hey, the good old days.
Yes.
Good old days.
How you doing today, kid? Good?
Good. Yeah, just chilling. Got the robe on, you know. It's a good evening.
Sunday packing a fat lip. I fucking love it, kid. Well, Joe's filling in for Elvis. He's fucking somewhere in Pennsylvania doing God knows what. But yeah, we got a great episode. We're gonna recap week 16 in the NFL. We'll recap college playoffs as well. We'll look ahead towards Monday Night Football between the Colts and the Niners. And we'll give out picks and props as well for Monday night. But kid, we should start on Saturday. What a fucking Saturday slate. And we'll start with Philadelphia. They take over, go on the road, and kill the Redskins 29-18. Jalen Hurts had a good game, 22 for 32 touchdowns, no interceptions. Saquon had a vintage Saquon game, over 100 yards. A.J. Brown had a good game. Everybody was happy. They win. They clinched the division. All is right in Philadelphia, kid.
No locker room turmoil, huh?
No,
none of that. Yeah. They implemented Tank right as well. Tank Biggs.
Yeah, he got a touchdown.
Well. Yeah, man. I mean, we saw that coming, right? It's hard making that offense happy. That's what I see. It's a lot of personalities, trying to achieve at a high level, trying to feed the ball to all those, hands. It's not easy. So a lot rests on Jalen Hurts, and, he stepped up by stepping back a little bit, I think. I think that helps as well. When you have a quarterback that can, facilitate elsewhere, you got a winning team. Yeah, the Eagles are going to be on top. I don't know if they'll get the one seed with how everything else is played out, but yeah, they look good. It was a Redskins team kind of defeated, but mind you, NFC Championship last year, and you toppled them on your way into the playoffs. I think, they're rolling.
Yeah, did you see they had a little bit of a scrummish back there? Dan Quinn did not like that. He goes, don't worry, we'll see them in 2 weeks. So we'll see how that goes. But, definitely not going to get the 1 seed, I think. They're right now they're at the 3 seed, but they did clinch up the division. So that is good. Now we have 3 teams that have clinched in the NFC: Seahawks, Rams, and the Eagles. Now, if you look, you mentioned 1-360. They reached the NFC Championship last year, the Washington Redskins. Now this year, they're going to have a top 5 pick, or a top 10 pick, excuse me. Right now, they're sitting at number 7. We'll see how the cookies crumble. But what do you do if you're the Redskins? Obviously, Jaden Daniels was hurt. A lot of the guys were hurt this year. But what do you do if you're the Redskins moving forward?
Keeping Dan Quinn around, right? So, I mean, defensive-minded guy, I hate for him to go back and take defense, but, you got to protect the franchise, right? I think O-line, you can't go wrong with getting a guy who's going to be a provider, protector for your team for 15 years. So, yeah, you got to protect the jewel of the franchise, which is Jaden Daniels. So, for me, as an offensive lineman, invest there.
So they have him right now. Some mock drafts. They have him. They have the Redskins drafting the offensive tackle out of Utah, Spencer Fanto, 6'6", 302 pounds. So, hey, that could help. But I agree. I think they need to go and protect Jaden Daniels. He is the franchise. I think they give Dan Quinn a year or two and see how everything unwinds.
I'm looking at the Falcons right now. It's live still. It's like that. You keep, continuity at the head coaching position. That's why if you move off too much, you get, you get into a worse situation than you would be if you had a, established head coach.
What a game Saturday night. And I almost went to sleep, kid. I almost went to sleep. There was no UFC on. I was like, you know what? I might as well go to sleep. Andrew Tate bummed me out. So I was like, you know what? Let me stay up. And here comes the fucking Chicago Bears. What a win. Ben Johnson really changed the culture in this team. 22-16. Now, Jordan Love went out with a concussion. Malik Willis, I thought he played okay. 9 for 11, 121 yards. It was that bad snap, and as an offensive lineman, you don't take enough snaps with the first team center. Things like this could happen. He botches it. They go down. They score. What a ball Caleb Williams threw to DJ Moore.
It's the belief that Ben Johnson has in Caleb. And then in turn, the team is believing in him as well. And they're backing him. They're winning ball games. They run the ball better. Their defense is leading the league and is historically good at takeaways. So this is a complete team here and very well poised to take the 1 seed. Like
100%.
I did not expect this in a million years with this Bears team. And man, I'm happy for the fans. Have you seen all the videos? Like, especially with in the same household, a lot of Packers Bears like rivalries inside the home, and the Bears fans getting the last laugh there.
Oh, it's the best. I mean, he's really changed this team. I think Caleb Williams has really taken the next step as well. The defense, they just get turnovers, and this is without they had Luther Burton III. He was out. They had no Roma Dunze. So for them to pick up the slack, for them to do that at home, and this is a Green Bay team that's owned them 12-1 in their last 13 against the Bears. This was a huge get your monkey off your back. And yeah, they're live. They're going to make the playoffs. They're 11-4. They're sitting at the 2 seed. I don't know what needs to happen. I think Seattle needs to lose, and so do the Rams for them to get the 1 seed. But hey, they're live.
Dog division out there to NFC West. Anything could happen. So yeah, Bears just got to do their job, which is win the rest of the games. Win out as you would.
Do you think the Packers still make the playoffs at 9-5-1?
I think that tie. We talked about maybe the Cowboys trying to work their way in. That turned out to be impossible, but the tie might save the Packers.
Yeah. Right now, they do have a 92% chance of making the playoffs, so it looks like they will get in. But, yeah, it was a great win, and this Bears team, if you don't believe in them, this team is for real, I think. It really is. Let's head to Sunday, though. We'll go to Cleveland, where I said on the show on Friday, take the 10.5 points. This is classic look ahead spot for the Bills. And Shedeur, there are some moments where you sit there and say, I see why he was drafted in the 5th round, but then you have some moments where he's a baller and he's athletic and he makes some plays. And I feel bad for Quinson Junkins. He broke his leg. Oh. He's out. But they hung around, man. The defense really hung around. Feel bad also for, Myles Garrett. He got a half a sack. So
carroted him that half a sack.
Yeah, he needs one. He needs a half to break it. So
he'll get a full. I think with 2 games left, he's at least going to get one more.
What do you think about the Bills? They are still live for the division. 11-4. They're at the 6th seed right now.
I think the head-to-head matchup put them a step behind, so I don't think the division's theirs. I think the Pats will hang on, but I took the -10. That was my bad. I just saw you hit it head. It was a look ahead spot for the Bills. I just saw they won outright. Good for them, but good teams right win, great teams cover, and I thought that they would have been a great team to do so in this spot. But it's weird. It's like they play better in bad conditions, right? So they're looking to, have some home games, maybe in the playoffs in bad weather, and they'll win some games. But it would have been nice to see them cover.
My thing is the Bills, they just play down to their competition, or they play up, depending on who they play.
Is it them or the Pats in that division with more one-score wins to Pats, right?
Yeah, it's the Pats, I think. But I said this a few weeks ago, if James Cook gets 100 yards, this team is undefeated. They need to continue to give him the ball. So he had over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he's trying to get the rushing title. I don't know where he stands. Yeah.
I don't know. I think he took the lead. I think he might have taken the lead for the year, but it's just about sustaining that, and I don't know. He might get only one more game because come week 18, yeah, he's probably not going to play.
Dog of the week gets there with the Chargers. Cannot believe they were underdog. I mean, I say it all the time, kid. Imagine if Rashard Slater and Joe Alt were really there. This team is a Super Bowl team. Like Justin Herbert is a dog. They got Omari and Hampton back. They could run the ball. They play defense. Quentin Johnson had himself a breakout game, over 100 yards. And this defense, outside of George Pickens having a big game, they really locked him down. And this team is really fucking good.
It's just too much to overcome, I think, on the defensive side of the ball. It's like what you see right now with the Lions, right? They can score a bunch of points, but they can't stop a nosebleed. So it's just another year that we're gonna wait to see if it's the Cowboys' year. You know what I mean? They got to prove it to me. For as long as I can remember throughout my life, they've always disappointed. So yeah, I don't know how I picked the Cowboys again. It's just I've been so out of touch with it, but maybe when me getting a little more active in it, I can actually pick these spots a little better.
Thoughts on the Chargers moving into the playoffs? So right now they're at the 5 seed. We'll see how the last 2 weeks shape out, but they're going to make the playoffs. They're 11-4. They play good defense.
Hey, isn't the division still alive? I mean, Jaguars just beat the Broncos, or it's looking like they're going to win, right?
Yeah, so they're still alive. Let me actually, that's a good call. Let me look at the division race. So right now, the AFC West, Broncos minus 320, plus 260 for the Chargers. They're still live.
Yeah. Do they play head to head? One more time.
Let me see. Chargers schedule. I don't know that off the top of my head.
If they do, that come down to a lot. That can mean a lot right there.
Yes, they do. Week 18.
So, hey, they're going to have starters playing in the final week of the season, and that could probably determine not the playoffs, because I do think both teams are going to be in. It's about that division and that seeding.
Man, what a 2-week stretch here for the Chargers. They play on Saturday at home against the Texans, who is great defense, and then they're on the road to end the year a Mile High.
Yeah, I mean, that's not easy. Playing in Denver is never easy, and nobody wants to really play the Texans right now.
No, their defense is phenomenal. So, yeah, big win for the Chargers. Maybe it'll come down to Week 18. Who I feel bad for the Chiefs, man. Just 1 week after Patrick Mahomes tears his ACL, Gardner Minshew tears his ACL. So
he's had a lot of injuries.
Yeah,
injury prone, unfortunately for Gardner Minshew. He's a fun guy, I think, and for the league, and seeing him kind of remind me like an old Mike White, comes in, rejuvenates the team and scores some touchdowns, but just can't escape the injuries.
Good win for the Tennessee Titans. Good win for them. So the Jets move into 4th place for Tankathon. Cam Ward looked good. 21 for 28, 2 touchdowns. They ran the ball well. Tony Pollard had over 100 yards. I said it with Elvis. Sometimes Cam Ward makes those throws where you scratch your head, but then he puts it together like this against a pretty good defense. I know, say what you want about the Chiefs, they're not having a great year, but this is still a Steve Spagnuolo defense that's pretty good. So
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, great win for the Tennessee Titans at home, trying to build some momentum.
Yeah, motivated team at home, like you said, they were going to win that with the depleted Chiefs team. I saw that. I was glad to cash him. Still as a dog going into it, so it wasn't a bad pick.
Yeah, no, that was awful. I took the under, and it still didn't cash because Tennessee put up 26 points. But
hey,
this is the win we needed for Joe Burrow and the Bengals. They cashed the -4.5. Game goes way over the total, 45-21. They decimate him. 4 touchdowns for Joe Burrow. Chase Brown had 2. T. Higgins had 1. Mike Gesicki had 1. Jamar Chase had over 100 yards. A couple questions, because maybe he saved his job. The coach,
McDaniel.
Yeah, no, the coach for the Bengals. Now I was going to ask you, Mike McDaniel. He has to be gone, right?
Man, I like him, but you got to take about feelings out of the situation and look at the product on the field. And guys phoned it in, right? Coming out of the bye, they were alive for the playoffs, and they just had to win. They had to keep winning their games, and fell flat on their face. And then, like I said, phoned it in, did not even show up for this game. And it's might need time for the Dolphins to move on from Mike McDaniel. I just don't know. Like we talked about the continuity to head coach position, it's hard to find these guys. So maybe, as the argument stands, maybe it's not McDaniel. Maybe it's the quarterback. Maybe they move on from Tua. I don't know if
Yeah.
there's a lot of money owed to him. I don't know if anybody would be willing to trade for him, but knowing the NFL today, maybe some moves get made. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good call because Ian Rappaport did say before the game at 1 o'clock, he did say it is very unlikely that Tua is back and that if they can't find a trade suitor, he will be released. So they're willing to eat the money. They're
Wow.
willing to eat the money. My thing is they're going to bring in a new GM. They fired their GM a few weeks back. It's going to be up to him who they bring in. It looks like Mike McDaniel is safe, which I don't know why, but he's just – I think the 4-game winning streak was kind of fluky. It was all who they played. My question was, why they start Quinn Ewers? They did my boy Zach Wilson dirty. They should have started him.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying, hey, why don't we see some Zach Wilson out there, saying probably more athleticism, more explosive plays than a Quinn Ewers. Got a game manager check down, and that's what you got. He got the 2 touchdowns, but there wasn't much else coming out of that.
No, not at all. And it was a very tough look for Miami at
Maybe
home.
Zach Wilson in the next 2 weeks. I don't know. It'll be fun.
Yeah, they should. At this point, they have nothing else to play for. Jets, I mean,
Goodbye.
Let's get this one out of the way. I mean, great for the draft pick, but, bro, I'm being serious. The Saints shouldn't be 23 points better than you.
Yeah.
They shouldn't. I mean, Tyler Shuck is a baller. They've won 3 in a row. He might be the guy. Who's to say they don't stick with him at this point?
It's that dog. He's got that chip on his shoulder. It's the guys who you count out. Look at his journey into even getting drafted. I mean, bro's got a story. Been counted out. I don't even think if you look back in college, he's gotten many starting opportunities, moved around a bit. And then he comes in the NFL, starts game, and like you said, he looks like a baller. So stick with the guy. You don't have to sacrifice a lot of cap, and you got a good spot to draft. And yeah, who knows what they can do? It looked like Cam Jordan was going to retire, right? Looks like that one of his final home games. And, it's just kind of the new guard coming into New Orleans. No more Alvin Kamara and a couple of the guys that have been there for a long while.
Yeah, right now they are sitting at the number 8 spot. So unless they keep winning, it looks like they might get a top 10 pick coming into this season. So, and I think Kellen Moore was a great coaching hire. I mean, he's developing Tyler Shuck. Taysom Hill had a pretty good game. How does Taysom Hill beat you down the field like that?
I had him picked up in my fantasy just to have him.
It's
just
ridiculous.
To keep him in the roster spot. Legend.
Do you keep Aaron Glenn after 1 year?
Man, that's tough, man. It's a very, disorganized franchise. The Jets are a mess. And, it seems like you might have been able to turn the culture around, but it doesn't look like it. We were saying that maybe you go offense, but even in that sense, it didn't work out. So it just seems hopeless. I hate to say for Jets fans, it really does. Like, who do you bring in to kind of help lead the way? Hey, no one. Let's bring Rex Ryan in. Let's bring the attitude. Let's bring the momentum. Let's bring that Jets way back.
So I agree with you. I thought they should have hired him. One guy I heard who could, because they fired Steve Wilkes to DC last week. One guy I heard, Bart Scott.
Can't wait.
Exactly. They'll get the fucking boys playing, right?
Hey, it's hard though to see, right? You got a guy off the ESPN desk. Look at the Jeff Saturday experiment. Didn't work out so well. So
that's
maybe
fair.
Pump the brakes a little bit. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't always work out.
No, that's fair. The other New York team, tough loss. I mean, them and the Raiders, and we'll get to them in a minute, but those are the 2 worst teams in the league. They got to be. And, I mean, Max Brosmer came in and kind of game managed it and went 7 for 9. They knocked out J.J. McCarthy with a right hand injury. We'll see what x-rays wind up being, but ugly win. I'll say that. It wasn't the prettiest, but I want to ask you, after firing Brian Daboll a few weeks ago, Mike Kafka comes in. It looks like to me, in just the eye test, I know I'm not the smartest guy, but it looks like Jackson Dart has regressed. 7 for 13, 33 yards, an interception. He's still running a ton. I mean, that offense was pitiful today at home.
Yeah, there's just I don't know. There's not much of a relationship there with Kafka and the guys. He's not going to be there. You talked about who's not going to be the next year. It's going to be an interim guy like that. So they're going to be on the hunt for a head coach. And yeah, it's just Daboll at least gave him a little bit of juice. I think you look what he did with Josh Allen in the past. I think he does have that ability to get the better play out of quarterbacks that Daboll does. But man, what are you going to do, right? As well, we talk about the Jets. I think the Giants may have a little bit more questions at the head coaching position.
So it was Ian Rappaport reported early before the game started. At the top of the Giants list, Marcus Freeman, the Notre Dame coach.
You think he'll leave?
I think money talks, Joe. I think
Yeah.
money talks, and
He left out of a playoff like that.
Yeah, and it leaves a sour taste in your mouth, and it's every coach's, and maybe not for some, but to coach in the NFL, I think that is the ultimate goal. I know it's a prestigious university in Notre Dame, but he is a good coach, and I think that would be really good for the Giants. What are your thoughts on maybe Marcus Freeman, or if you have anybody else in mind?
Man, you're not gonna. I don't think it's such a, I think, volatile job, and New York is such a high demand market. I don't really think like coaches in the college ranks or even in the pros are clamoring for that. Yeah, I think it's gonna be some desperation in terms of the interview process. They're not gonna have it together for quite some time. I don't think we're gonna get an announcement on the head coach for probably not even till like training camp. I'll be real with you. I know that sounds pretty crazy. Got to establish somebody, but it's nobody going to be one on a lineup for that Giants job.
Do you have any names outside of maybe Marcus Freeman, like who they should go after? Like maybe a defensive guy? Do they need offense? I think they need offense.
I was messing around with the John Gruden idea, but that's just me,
I love John Gruden.
The gimmick. I love it. And he had a good relationship with Jackson Dart. I think he loves Jackson Dart. And he's good all around head coach, but I don't know if the league has moved on, from him. So, yeah, I always like to keep John Gruden in the mix. But
the first place Carolina Panthers, man, that feels good to say. 8-7. I was one of the guys who honestly counted Bryce Young out. I said maybe he might be a bust, but he's really turned it around this year. I think turnovers are down. His IQ. Dave Canales is a hell of a coach. 21 for 32, 2 touchdowns. They weren't really able to run the ball all that well, but Terrion McMillan had a good game. The defense stepped it up. I'm out on Tampa. Baker doesn't seem right. He doesn't look like he's playing at 100%. And this is a team that has guys. You talk about Bucky Irving, Ricard White, Emeka Ibuka, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans.
Heck, even Otten is a good tight end.
Yeah, like they have guys. Jalen McMillan could be a number one on some team. Good. Bro, and they can't do. And Vita Vea on defense, and
offense. Brought him in on offensive package.
They just lose all these games. I'm out on Tampa. I hope Carolina wins the division, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I like Carolina, as well. I picked them. That was a good hit there, dog. But they got the division on lock. I like the defense. Rico Dowdle, you can rely on him. And Bryce Young looks completely improved.
I was going to say, trying to look for So right now, still after a win, they are plus 135. Tampa Bay is minus 170. These two will play week 18 for the division.
Another one. Hey, these schedule makers know a year in advance what's going to happen.
they got the script, right?
Yeah.
they fucking got the script. So big win for Carolina. We do cash there plus 3. We didn't even need the plus 3. They win outright as well. Let's go to the 4:00 games. Texans, man, they were 14.5-point favorites, and they barely win. Vegas covers the 14.5, but Texas gets out 10-5 now for the Houston Texans. Not the prettiest wins. And shout out Alshon Gentry. Great game, 128 yards on the ground. He had 60 yards in the air as well. And I know I'm not the biggest Geno fan, but he played pretty well, I'll say.
Absolutely. Brock Bowers got that late touchdown. That hurt me because I gave up Brock Bowers early in the fantasy year. He was injured, you know what I mean? Like, there was no shame in that, but now looking at it, it's like, fuck. But, I mean, it's just the Texans a way better team. Raiders, they look like the poorest organization. I know we just mentioned the Giants and the Jets and all their turmoil, but, man, the Raiders might be even more of a mess.
Is Pete Carroll gone after 1 year?
I think, honestly, I think he stays one more.
Wow. I like Pete Carroll.
I like Pete Carroll, and it's just, maybe just trying to get the franchise moving in the right direction. So you keep the old guy around.
Yeah. Texans sitting at the 7th seed at 10-5. They're going to make the playoffs. It looks like everybody in the AFC is going to be there. We'll see what happens Sunday night with the Ravens and the Steelers, because the Steelers are still playing right now. That's actually been a shootout recently. The last couple minutes, 29-24. You got 3 minutes left in the game. Let's go to the next game. Broncos. Surprised they lost at home. I took the +3.5 with Jacksonville because I'm on Jacksonville. I took them to win the division. I am extremely impressed with what I've seen the last 2 months of Trevor Lawrence. He's not turning the ball over. Another game, over 250 yards, 3 touchdowns. Now, he was sacked 5 times. This is a really good defense, but they ran the ball well. Parker Washington balled out 145 yards, and this team is getting healthy. Jacoby Myers has really turned into something. They're getting Travis Hunter back in a week or so. This defense is good. And after Bo Nix had a career game last week against Green Bay, he did not look good. Now,
I always felt like Jacksonville was like a sleeping giant, and Liam Cohen just turned out to be that catalyst to wake them up, and here they are. Trevor Lawrence is balling. And another thing, you got a coach that's going to have confidence in the quarterback, and you see the whole team respond. So, yeah, I was on the Jacksonville +3.5, but you could have kept the points. They won outright, and they could have gave some points with how good they won.
Yeah, for Coach of the Year, do you think Liam Cohen should be in consideration? Because I do.
Yeah, totally, absolutely. Definitely Ben Johnson.
Yeah, Ben Johnson. Even, I hate to admit it, but even Mike Vrabel as well. I mean, for what they did now coming up. But, Jaguars are for real, man. They're for real. They're at the 3 seed. They're looking like they're going to win the division as well. And
I think the AFC South teams, like, they were – behind the Colts to start the season. And so iron sharpens iron. They were playing in a tough division. And now I talked about the Texans one, but nobody wants to play either of those AFC South teams, the Texans or the Jaguars.
No, not at all. And then what was the last one? Oh, yeah. And then the last game in the 4:00 window, the Cardinals, we get there with the Falcons -2.5. Kirk Cousins, 2 in a row. Now, it's not the prettiest, but he's been a long 10 years now. He knows what to do to win games. We get there with the prop of the week, Bijan Robinson over 37.5 receiving yards. He led the team with 92. I mean, whenever you get a running back who's good, like maybe Kenneth Gainwell in the passing game, Bijan Robinson in a dome, you got to take him. So, Jacoby Brissett, say what you want. He's okay. What do you think they do here with Gannon, the coach of Arizona? Because this team is not good. They're going to have a top 5. Oh, right now they're at 6. So, seeing where the cookies crumble with that one. But where do you see with him? I don't think Kyler's back either. What do you do if you're Arizona?
That's another one. Man, I think you do move on from Kyler Murray. Yeah. You've seen that without him, the passing attack went off. Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson went absolutely crazy. And look at the record-breaking Trey McBride. I mean, if he gets, a real established quarterback who can, let's see his record-breaking go through the roof. So, I saw them being able to beat the Falcons, but the Falcons also had just too much. They have too many weapons as well. It's just sometimes I feel like they're a little bit, what it is lazy, right? The Falcons. And it's like you don't know who's showing up week to week. So, Falcons, they get a little consistency. They can always be dangerous. And then for the Cardinals, you're starting fresh at quarterback.
You have to. Yeah, I think you got to start fresh depending on where you land in the draft. Got to start fresh.
Hey, swap quarterbacks. Give them Kyler. You take Tua, Miami.
Yeah, that could be a move as well. I was hearing rumbles that the Jets might go after Kyler. No, I do not want Kyler Murray. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's just another year of nothing.
Of nothing, yeah. Well, it is the 2-minute warning. It's the last game, but right now it looks like the Steelers are going to go home with a win right now. It's 29-24. They're marching too, so they are in the red zone.
To your question about the Packers making the playoffs, the Lions just can't get out of their own way.
No, they're going to fall to 8-7.
And then if they can't do it, they're not making it, and the Packers will with that tie.
Yeah, so with a loss, so right now they have 11% chance. If they would have beaten the Pittsburgh Steelers, it would have jumped up to 43. But if they lose, they're going to drop down to 6%. They're done.
They're done, man. They're done.
They were riddled with injuries, though. This
2 years in a row. though. So like, what do you do? Is it the strength and conditioning? Is it the training staff? Like, what's going on? Is it the home field? To talk about MetLife's field, they're playing on a turf field, right, in Ford Field every single home game.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something to it. Let's get the natural grass back.
I also think you got to give it up for the defense for the Steelers, because look what they held David Montgomery to 14 yards. They held Jahmyr Gibbs to 5 yards. They have 18 total rushing yards. They couldn't do anything. I mean, they held Amon-Ra St. Brown to 30 receiving yards. Like, this defense is for real sometimes. And if they could run the ball like they did tonight, 143 yards with Jalen Warren, 50 with Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth Gainwell could do it either way.
Should have seen that starting the rookie lineman, the Detroit is with the center, the interior lineman center, 2 guards, both all rookies. That doesn't bode too well. You need experience in the O-line.
If anything happens, there is 2 minutes left. It is at the 2-minute warning. If anything happens, I'll let you guys know. Okay. But by the way, Sunday Night Football, we should have a really good one going off in about 45 minutes with the Patriots and the Ravens. Ravens are laying 3.5. I mean, I don't understand why the market loves this team. I understand it's prime time at the bank. They're going to wear the black unis. Kid, like, do you agree with the market?
Oh, I do, man. I went with the Baltimore Ravens, man. I know it pains me to do so because, like we talk about, 1-score games. If this is going to be close, you got to favor the Patriots in that spot. But
yeah,
man, if the Ravens wake up, I mean, they're always scary. So that's what it is. We look at Lamar Jackson. We look at it, who hasn't been right as well all year.
No.
But we look at them. We say, okay, they can, hopefully score some points. We look how good Jim Harbaugh is doing. John Harbaugh, we always know, is being a good coach and can maybe keep those guys going. But if the Pats pull ahead, then man, they might be deflated and just might, like we talked about, phoning it in. Ravens might not have much to play for anymore.
All right. Yep. Let's go to the college playoff. Alabama goes into Norman, Oklahoma, and wins. Wow. I mean, I was stunned. I was stunned. I thought Venables had one of the best defenses in the country, and for Alabama to put up 34 on them, it was a revenge spot. I mean, they were down 17 early, and then Alabama just stomped on them. I mean, John Mateer didn't play well.
Oklahoma, you got someone down and up 17, you got to stomp on their neck, and they didn't do that.
No, both teams couldn't run the ball, and I didn't think John Mateer played all that well. Ty Simpson, he looked good, 18 for 29. He took care of the ball, no interception. So, yeah, big win for Alabama. They move on. Oregon, they take care of James Madison. I'll say this, James Madison fought, though.
They put up a better job than the other Group 5 team, Tulane.
Yeah, Tulane wasn't good, and John Summerall came out and said, well, what do you say to people that think you don't deserve? He goes, after the way we played tonight, I think they're right. Like, it did not look good. And, and that was without Lane Kiffin.
They wanted to make it was the most important game in Mississippi football history. So, I mean, good for them getting the host. I don't know how they're faring the next round. We'll see.
Yeah. And then the frauds of the year have to go to A&M. I mean, what the fuck was that? 3 points against Miami.
And they missed 3 field goals.
Yeah.
Miami did.
At home in College Station. For Carson Beck to go on the road, and he didn't even do anything. Like, let's relax. Like, Marcel Reed did not look good, though. 2 turnovers that fucking killed A&M. And I thought they lost up front. Miami went on the road and played big boy football and ran the fuck out of the ball. Yep. And that's what happens. We talk about it all the time growing up. If you win up front in the trenches, you are going to advance.
Take those soul from them and take the will from them. And Carson Beck, he is proven to be a winner. So you got this guy at the helm, and we'll see what they can do. They got a tall task ahead of them in this next fight.
Yeah, so that was it. And now we're down to 8 teams left, the quarterfinals. And honestly, as an Ohio State fan, I'm glad Miami won because it's an easier matchup for us.
Not so fast.
New Year's Eve at the Cotton Bowl, Ohio State taking on the U. And then we have a 3-pack on New Year's Day starting at 12 a.m. or 12 p.m., I guess, noon. Texas Tech taking on the Ducks. What a fucking game that is in the Orange Bowl. Then we're going to Pasadena to the Rose Bowl, and the Hoosiers are going to take on the Crimson Tide. And then That's a great game too. And then the All-State Sugar Bowl. Let's see how Ole Miss does against the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Kid,
Georgia.
you've been to Mercedes-Benz. How is that?
Yeah, nice stadium. Yeah, beautiful. You got not a bad view in the whole stadium like it was in Atlantic City. So, yeah, I mean, I like those matchups a lot. I do think that Alabama and Hoosier matchup is going to be intense.
Yeah, so right now, Ohio State is the biggest favorite on the board. Ohio State's 9.5-point favorite here against the U. Oregon is short favorites against Texas Tech. Are you surprised?
A little bit. I mean, I get it. Oregon has been there a little bit more history in the playoff. Dan Lanning at the helm.
I love Dan Lanning.
Yeah, you can't not deny him as a good head coach. He's one of the best. But man, I like Jacob Rodriguez. I like Texas Tech a lot.
He's good.
Dude,
yeah,
he to me, he should have been there sitting at the Heisman. Just respect for the defensive side of the ball.
I agree. I fucking agree. And they spent the most. They went out. They went undefeated. And
that oil money. Yo, did you see?
Yeah, that is.
You watching Landman?
I heard it's pretty
good,
good,
bro. That is a good talk about money.
I heard it's good. You're not the first person to tell me that,
bro. And that's who they talk about. Texas Tech. All the oil monarchs. Texas Tech, baby. Tech.
I fucking love it. Yeah, I gotta start. It's on Paramount, right?
Yeah, I think it's on Paramount. Maybe you can get it on Prime, a bunch of other ways and stuff. So,
other than that, we have Alabama is 6.5-point underdogs against Indiana, and then Georgia is 7.5-point favorites over Ole Miss. So I think I agree about everything. I guess I was just surprised that Texas Tech was an underdog.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair though.
Yeah.
I might go and take the value with them. Like that might be one of them. I might lay the points with the rest of the matchups, but you got to with that. With them getting the bye. You could say coming off the couch might be, but I think the week prior they're simming games. They're doing a little bit of that stuff. So I think they'll be fine. These teams that had the bye, they deserved it. They played hard. They played conference championship, so they needed that little.
100%. All right. Well, that was the weekend. Before we get into Monday Night Football, let me tell you guys about Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. It's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks. So just a kick. Just like how we like our lives, whether it's Huckleberry playing around the golf with the boys or an elderberry watching Monday Night Football, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and our refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid, let's get to it. Monday Night Football. Ooh, baby, I love this game. Actually, it was part of my teaser. We will head to Lucas Oil Stadium. The Colts hosting the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers laying 5.5 here on the road, -270 on the money line, +220 for the Colts. Total is 46.5. Kid, I will let you lead it off. What do you like here for Monday night?
Teams moving in different directions here. You know what I mean? I feel good for the loud house, the barn. That's going to be in Indy, and it's going to be loud, and they're going to be cheering on their team. And we all love and respect Phillip Rivers for what he's doing, but I think it's just, a little too tall of a task to overcome. Like we talked about the dog-eat-dog division that is the NFC West. The 49ers need to keep winning. So this is a must-win game for them because they're eyeing the division. They're not just going in there just to make the playoffs. They're going to play these guys. All the injuries they had, they're fresh going into the playoffs. So that's another team. You look at the NFC side, I don't think anybody really wants to play the 49ers, depending on where they're to be seated. So
they're still live for the 1 seed.
That's what I mean. Yeah, they're going to be clamoring to get that. They're going to want to lock that up. It's going to be hard, but the fact that they control their own destiny means they're going to probably win out. So I think that they're going to win this game. It's depending if they're going to be one of those we decide is a great team if they can cover, given the slight points. But yeah, I do see straight up that the Niners are a better team and should win this.
Yeah, I agree. The 49ers are rolling right now. And yeah, it was good to see Phillip Rivers back in the NFL last week. And, he kind of hung around there in Seattle. I thought it was a good game plan. But I think that was a one-off. I don't expect him to have another solid game here against the 49ers. I think Bobby Salah is going to have the boys playing. He's going to have a good game plan and get after him.
You saw that. They were like, as soon as Bob Salah was free, they were like, get him back into the fold, let him run the defense. And that's what you can see with like Mike McDaniel. If he leaves, he could get any team to get him called up, be our offensive coordinator. You'll do fantastic. These are top level guys.
Yeah, I agree. There's no way I could take the Colts here in this spot. Colts losing is great for the Jets draft pick as well, the number 2. So I'm gonna lay the 5.5. They're getting healthy. They got Ricky Pearsall back. George Kittle's doing well. Christian McCaffrey's doing well. I gotta take the 49ers here. They are in my teaser as well, but I'll lay the 5.5 here. Thoughts on the total? You think we could see a high scoring game? Because I know you hit the Bengals total.
Man, I'm hard pressed to maybe go team total, not just the over under and the whole total. But look what happened earlier. I think a couple guys had like Bills first half over, and you hit that doinker and you don't hit the total in the first half. So I think it's a little too much risk to even touch the totals. You know, I might have some props laid out for these games, but if anything, if I'm gonna pick a side, like I said, I'm probably more willing to just lay the points with the 49ers, though it hasn't worked out too well for me this weekend. I think that's probably the safer bet.
All right. Let's get to our player props of the week, and they are brought to you by Props.Cash, the best way to research your player props. We've been using it for a while now. We've cashed. I know Elvis cashed his prop of the week. I cashed Bijan Robinson, and it helps you find an edge literally in every player prop market, whether it's basketball, hockey, football, wherever, on the web or in the Props.Cash app. You'll get quick visual data on player trends, matchup history, and recent performance across every major sport. Clean, reliable stats that make it easy to spot value. Plans start at just $19.99 a month, and right now you can get 25% off your first month with code DREAM25. That is DREAM25. So download the app, not now, but right now, sign up with a monthly subscription and use code DREAM25, and you'll be paying just $14.99 your first month. Level up your prop research today at Props.Cash. Kid, you said you got a lot of props for me. What is your prop of Monday Night Football?
Yeah. I looked at why I was going to go with the 49ers, and it's probably because of the inability of the Colts offense, more or less. And who do you got to isolate if you're the 49ers? I think Bob Salah is going to make it a point to stop Jonathan Taylor. I'm going to hit the under on his reception yards and receiving yards and rushing yards total on the prop there. It's minus 115, I think, minus 114. I just think that defense is going to be all in on stopping him with the run. He can easily get a touchdown as he normally does. He is a touchdown vulture, 3 a game, bunch happen. But I think you look at the yardages and the teams he's faced, right? We talked about the level of competition some of these teams have gone up against, and he started not producing as well when he facing really good defense. Look at the last 4 weeks. You got KC, very stout. We talked about Hall of Famer Spagnuolo, Houston, Jacksonville, actually pretty stout defensively, and Seattle, arguably the best defense in the league. He didn't go over any of those props in any of those games. And I look at the 49ers as one of the better defense, even without, there's no Warner, right? There's no Bosa, and you're still one of the best defenses. So yeah, with the planning and with the intentions of winning the game, I'm going to go with the under on Jonathan Taylor's total.
I'm going to go with the tight end here. George Kittle, give me over 66.5. It's at minus 114. I think this is a great matchup here. Yeah. They rank Indianapolis 28 versus the tight end this year. So it's a great matchup. He's gone over this number in 5 straight games. He just had 88 versus Tennessee, Cleveland 67, 78 versus Carolina, 67 versus Arizona. And even against a really good defense in the Rams, he had 84. He's been on fire since coming back. He's healthy. Think this is a really good matchup. I know he's only averaging 52 receiving yards, but this is a big game in the dome. I think we see some points here. So George Kittle over 66.5 receiving yards.
I would like to go in with him as well, because that was going to be another prop that I had, is just the receptions, because Ricky Pearsall's still out. Like, where is he going to throw the ball, Brock Purdy? You ask yourself, right? You got DeJuan Jennings out there and Bourne and all those guys, but even DeMarcus Robinson. But I just feel like he's safe with getting Kittle, because Kittle's an explosive playmaker at the tight end slot. So, 5.5. He's gone in the last 5 games over 4 times.
Yeah.
I think he just gets fed the ball. I think it's a safe bet, minus 130. Yeah, I'm going to get Kittle over that reception total. I like your receiving total. Hell, he could even score a touchdown.
Yeah, I like that as well. I was looking at that. It's Props.Cash has ranked that in an A+ play as well, just because how bad Indianapolis is versus the tight end. So I was really trying to hone in on George Kittle here. So I like receptions. I like receiving yards. I don't know if he'll get in the end zone, but I like it. The other guy I was looking at, but
is it a tight end? Is it
no.
Okay.
It was a guy who's really developed into a dependable receiver, and Alex Pierce on the Colts. His receiving yards is short at 20.5.
That's amazing. You mentioned him. You have a play on him?
I was gonna take the over, but I worry about Phillip Rivers, it's so low I have to take it.
Yeah, and here's what I saw is I look at Phil Rivers, and he said that he doesn't want to have to rely off having to throw the ball deep, and he says he still can though. And I'm going to take him up on that. I want to see him still be able to throw the ball deep. And who's averaging the most yards per reception in the league? It's exactly that. It's Alex Pierce. And I think that he's going to have his over in the reception. So his longest reception of the day is marked at 14.5. I'm going to say he gets a reception longer than that in this game. So, yeah, I'm on to Alex Pierce as well. I think there's not many people he can throw to besides like Tyler Warren, but you can't expect a big game out of that, a big gain. Yeah. I think the big gain is going to have to come from a connection to Alec Pierce downfield. So, yeah, stretch the field. Let's see if he does it. I think bro hits his total in every single game. You look at all his receptions and his ability to go over the 14.5 mark. Yeah, he's going to do it. So I think that was a pretty safe bet. Alex Pierce doing over 14.5 yards is minus 112.
I'm going to fade Phillip Rivers as well. I'm going to take his longest completion under 26.5 receiving yards. I mean, he, like you said, he can't throw the deep ball. His longest completion.
You got a window.
26.5
and 14.5. So if he somewhere in that sweet spot connects with Alec Pierce, we could both hit.
So I'm going to try to thread the needle on that. You get under 26.5. You get that at minus 115 as well. It's a good defense. I think they're going to bring pressure, and I just don't think he's going to air it out. Like, he sacked himself last week. You saw on some of the plays. So I'm going to fade Phillip Rivers. He's a Hall of Famer. Hey, you're a Hall of Famer in my book.
Absolutely. Yeah. A legend coming out 5 years, putting on for his high school team and his kids. Phillip Rivers is an absolute legend. Reconsider him Hall of Fame. That dude's a Hall of Famer.
Wow. It's coming down to the last play of the thing.
Detroit and Pitt, right?
Yeah, and Detroit and Pittsburgh. It's a flag on the play. Detroit scored a touchdown to win the game, but this is crazy. But there's penalty markers. If it's on Detroit, Pittsburgh wins the game.
Oh
so what fucking
that's crazy.
Tensions are crazy right now. But kid, that's gonna do it. I appreciate you for coming on.
Yeah,
what else you got?
Anytime. I was gonna say I have I could just touch the running backs real quick.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
It's just the 49ers running backs because I see the dynamic. I don't think you've noticing what they're doing with the two, Brian Robinson Jr. and Christian McCaffrey. I think you're seeing this guy is one of the highest receiving yard leaders in the league as a running back. I think you got to go back to the well, and a lot of these prop bets have been hitting, and that's why I decided to go with them. Christian McCaffrey over his reception yards at 30.5. He hadn't done his last 2 games, but I think that he's going to be fed well in the passing game. Like you said, no Ricky Pearsall. You're probably going to have Kittle and him being leading the front in the passing game. And the counterpart would be run the ball with Brian Robinson Jr. And so I'll take his over 22.5 rushing yards. I see that happening. He's hit that 4 out of the 5 times, and this didn't happen last game against the Titans, but they didn't use him too much. I think to keep McCaffrey fresh and to keep him away from injury, you run the ball with Robinson and you check down to CMC. So I think those 2 props are pretty safe bets. Do the over rushing Robinson Jr., over receiving CMC.
I was looking at CMC over his receiving yards. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. I think that's
easily.
Play.
Yeah, he's Purdy. That's what I see as well. Maybe out of all the bets I had were minus and they're pretty safe. I would take a shot with Purdy getting an anytime touchdown. For some reason, he's fresh. Look at the feet under him. Rushing, I think, touchdown last game. Maybe he does it again back-to-back weeks. Plus 500 if you hit that.
Yeah, I was trying to see touchdown score. I don't know why I couldn't see that. Let me see.
That's what the offense working.
Plus 500. Yeah.
Yeah. The 49ers is just well first. It's you got the opportunity to throw the ball around the field. You got multiple. Even Isaac Guerrero is a great running back. You got multiple running backs behind you. I think this is going to be a methodical offense that's going to drive the ball down the field. And I don't think the Colts defense is going to be a stop. That's the thing. No Ahmad Gardner, no Sauce. Jets won one thing this year, and that's the trade they gave up with Sauce Gardner.
It was a pass interference on the Lions.
Oh!
No. And they declined it. The game is over. Dan Campbell is livid.
Good night, Irene.
Lions are toast.
Damn, I feel bad. Wow. A lot of Lions friends.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, them's is the breaks. But kid, I appreciate the hell out of you. Thanks for jumping on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, if I don't speak to you, Merry Christmas, kid.
Yeah.
Love you. And hey, we'll be back. Hey, catch me and Joey, AKP, this Friday. Award show.
Yes, sir.
Award show. All right, kid. Love you. Peace.
Love you. Peace, bro.